On today's episode, we're going to do something a bit more different and a bit more fun. We're going to be talking about Magda's top 10 dog parent pet peeves. So we're going to go through her top 10, kind of discuss them a little bit. So this will be part one, and then later on we'll do part two of my top 10 dog parent pet peeves, as long as they're not the same. I mean, I'll try to not overlap if we do a part two, but so yeah, I think this one will be fun, and we'll see maybe what yours are going to be like afterwards. But so we'll start off, Magda, if you want to let us know of what is the, not number one, but I guess the very first kind of pet peeve that you have from what dog parents and dog owners do.
Welcome to The Woofy Show, the ultimate dog lover's digest. Meet your hosts, Brian and Magda, two dog lovers ready to help you be the best dog parent, unravel the mysteries of canine behavior, and keep you updated on the latest trends in the dog world. This podcast has something for everyone. Get ready for heartwarming stories, expert advice, and a lot of laughs.
I don't think you can beat my pet peeves, to be honest. I think I will cover all of them that there potentially are in a dog world in
Part
general.
Part two will be my top three. I'll find three random ones. But yeah,
I'm really excited for this one because it's kind of like, let's do some ranting.
Yeah, I think this will just be like a fun little thing. And again, this is our opinion and you can agree or disagree. But I thought it would be something that's a bit more personalized or personal to us. So I think this would be really fun.
And I do encourage people to comment down below or wherever you are to let us know what are your pet peeves of dog parents. What is it that really annoys you about them? So my first one is that dog parents don't pick up their dog poo.
Yes. I mean, that's valid. Actually, we were just out yesterday, for a walk with Maple, and that was something we saw, and we're just like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I guess within certain reasons, sometimes maybe people forget a bag.
Have you ever not picked up Maple's poo?
I did once, but it's because I didn't bring a bag, but it was like around the corner from our house. So I finished the walk, came back, grabbed a bag, and then went and got it. I don't want to be that person, but you see it all the time though.
I have too. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. I have not picked up Maple's poop because I forgot a bag. Yeah. But there's these like amazing people around in our neighborhood who leave little poop bags.
They're tied to their fence.
Yeah, tied to the fence. And I think they're just like such an amazing people. I actually
Everyone should do that.
Yeah, I want to knock to their door and be like, thank you. Yeah. You're a lifesaver.
I think, we replaced the bag. But I think that's a good idea. But then what about, that's one, but what about, we were talking about the people that leave, they pick it up, put it in a bag, but then leave the bag.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's worse. That is.
So I was curious, why do people do it? Because in my mind, it just did not make sense. Yeah. Why would you pack poop in a bag and then just leave it? Thing. And it happens all the time on whatever trail you are. They sometimes even hang off the trees.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my God, well, this is a wonderful nature walk, with all these poop bags hanging around on the trees. And so I Googled it because I was genuinely interested. Like, what the hell is that idea
Why
about?
Do people do that? Yeah.
And so apparently it's because people don't want to be carrying the dog's poop all the way to the top or wherever they're going on the trail. So the idea behind it is that they're going to come back and pick the poop that they left, but...
Assuming they do, but I guess that's the thing. You don't know. And if you're someone who does that, let us know, and you do go pick it up. I get the concept of that.
How would you find it though? There's so many poop bags around.
Which one was mine? I guess at that point, just pick up any one, and then you did your part. I guess But that's a annoying one, especially on your lawn and stuff in a house. Like, many times I go to cut the grass and it's the cutting grass, right? You're gonna run over this dog's poop, but it's also like dogs eat poo. Yeah. So you're leaving that poo for potentially another dog to eat. Yeah. And what if they get sick? Yeah. What if your dog has parasites in their poop? And then... Is it the only time we can just openly talk about poo on on a podcast? I love that's funny
when
though.
When you get a dog, it's such a normal thing to talk about poo. Yeah. I feel like before we had Maple, we never really discussed
Well, no, because that's weird. It would be weird.
Like, hey, what kind of poo did you have? Like, it just doesn't happen. No. But right now, we're just like, okay, let's inspect Maple's poo.
Yeah. But, that's a big one. I think that's a very important one with... I
have actually, so for anyone who has a problem with carrying their dog's poo on a trail, there's this cool hack you can do, right? It's going to blow your mind.
I don't know this. You haven't told me, so.
You can actually get like a container, right? Like a empty peanut butter container or a butter container
Okay,
and put your dog's poo in there so then it doesn't smell up your bag.
Oh, and then put it in your bag.
Yeah.
And then just
Or
throw
a
the
jar
whole
or
container. Well, I
something.
guess you would open the container, it would smell, but yeah, okay. No, that, I mean, it didn't blow my mind, but
it's pretty mind blowing because no one does this, you know, and peanut butter jar, like it's not like really heavy or anything.
But it could be bulky. Depending on how much room you have in your bag.
I mean, it depends how big your dog's poo is.
Would you carry around an empty peanut butter jar just in case if we went for a hike?
I would.
Yeah, you were very unsure about that. I mean, okay, no, that could work.
Because I get it, right?
Yeah,
it is inconvenient carrying your dog's poo.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you go for a hike, too. Yeah, if you're just out walking around, taking them for their 30-minute walk, just carry the damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bin.
Well, depending on where you live.
Every
but that's for us.
5 minutes, right?
For us, yeah. But
so, don't be that lazy not to find a bin to put your dog's poo in, but hiking. This is specifically for hiking, right?
When you're out for a few hours.
Empty peanut butter jar is a great tip.
That's a good idea.
Or any jar of any sort, right, that you can just close. Because that's people's argument. Oh, it's going to smell up my bag and it's going to be all squishy. And what if it opens up?
I wouldn't put a bag of poo in my backpack. That's disgusting.
Although Maple's poos are like rabbit poos.
Yeah, that's true though. Yeah, sometimes, but no.
So anyway, that's a big one because I don't want to be walking into your dog's poo. I don't want my dog to walk into your dog's poo or eat your dog's poo.
Clean up after your dog.
Yeah. And also, just don't litter at all. That's also another pet peeve, but that's kind of in the same thing. Littering,
don't litter your dog's
chewing gum.
Oh, yeah.
Dogs can pick up things very easily from the ground. Chewing gum attaches to their paws.
Peeve, or is this another one?
I don't know. This
has got to be a 10 list, a top 10 list, okay? Let's not get carried away. Okay. You got to save something for me.
Okay.
So we're ready for number 2.
The poop, yeah.
Okay.
Number 2. Yes. Okay, let's move on.
We should have had the poo as number 2. Oh, man. Oh, you missed one there. You made the list. Oh.
Shut up.
That would have been funny.
Cry.
That would have been so funny.
This is such a dad joke, but
I'm sorry, yeah.
It's funny.
I'm sorry. Let me know if you thought that was funny. You didn't. Okay, so pet peeve number 2. Dog parent pet peeve number 2.
Yeah, so what I don't like is when pet parents think it's a great idea to bring their puppy or an aggressive or a reactive dog to a dog park in hope to socialize their dog.
Off-leash dog park. Okay, we talked about dog parks and puppies in a previous episode.
But this is a big pet peeve of mine. When people go like, oh, you know, my puppy's like 3 months old. I'm going to take you to a dog park. And I'm like... No.
I mean, that's something we learn. No,
I want to socialize my dog, so I'm going to take you to a dog park. But my dog's really scared of dogs, but I'm going to take you to a cage.
Or my dog has no recall or...
where they can socialize.
That was dumb. And we did talk about that in the puppy... Was it the puppy episode?
It was the one about dog parks.
Oh, we had an episode. Okay, I can't remember. We've talked about dog parks a lot in different episodes because we're pretty strongly opinionated about dog parks. But that's a huge one. If your dog's not ready, don't take. Yeah, you're right. Don't take and that's a puppy. Don't take them to the dog park.
You get these questions a lot. Well, then how should I socialize my dog? And you socialize your dog distance, right? Yeah. Your dog has to be calm and collected and be able to work with you outside of dog park. And then when they're ready, they're adult, they listen to you somehow, and you are perfectly happy with how they are on leash. Yeah. Maybe then be ready to take them off leash. I mean, okay. Now, and puppies are never ready for that, right?
An aggressive dog, I think that is pretty common sense, but a reactive dog is not so much because reactivity is just more of like a, it doesn't always mean a bad thing's going to happen, but still.
Yeah, but it puts everyone else on edge. Yeah. And it just, when you bring your aggressive or reactive dog to a dog park, it literally ruins the experience for everybody. Yeah. So why do it?
Yeah, exactly. It's no different than if you were the one who took your puppy to a dog park and there was a reactive or aggressive dog that was not necessarily attacking your dog, but chasing or barking, it would scare your puppy. So you have to think of you are potentially ruining someone else's dog, someone else's, where now they're all of a sudden scared of other dogs. And this is where it's like, don't be so selfish. Like just because your dog needs exercise, I don't care. If they're not ready for the dog park, I don't care how much, well, I live in a little apartment, they need to exercise. Well, that's not our problem for the other people being at the dog park.
Exactly. Your dog is aggressive and reactive. They should not be there. Like, period. Yeah. And I had a trail of thought and I forgot what I was going to say about aggressive dogs as well. Another point is that things happen, right? Yeah. Like, dogs sometimes act out of character. Your dog could be perfectly well behaved and, maybe they don't go to a dog park a lot and they get a little too excited and then suddenly they react because a dog is, maybe breaking some type of boundary or whatever. If that happens, just take your dog back out of the dog park. Don't just leave them there to then build on that reactivity and maybe for that to escalate into something else, right? So that's also a thing, because people will be like, oh, my dog doesn't normally act aggressive, but sometimes they can become reactive. Like, just don't.
Yeah. Dog parks, watch our previous episode about dog parks. You'll get our take on them. But you're right. That is something that we don't really see because we don't go to dog parks, but like you said, we see a lot of questions on like the internet and Facebook groups and even people we talk to. And it's just like, then why dog, this happens, then stop taking them to the dog park. Well, then how else? Like, I know someone, it's like, well, that's how I exercise my dog. And I was like, well, stop being a lazy human and go take them for a real walk instead. Yeah. Oh, I don't have time for that. Well, then don't get a dog. I know these are yours, but these like...
Yeah, don't get too heated over my points.
I know, we're having a discussion. We're having a rant, that's what I said. Anything else on the dog park?
I just feel like if people had this self-awareness that the dog is just not ready for a dog park and they didn't take their dogs there, life would be so much better for everybody, right? Like, dog parks would be a lot more enjoyable experience than they are.
Dog parks are weird.
They are.
It's a whole another episode.
But yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Another one.
Okay. Is this number 3?
Yeah. Okay. So number 3, it's kind of similar but different. So unleash dogs on walks.
Oh, sorry. A dog that's not on a leash.
Yes.
On a walk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For instance, you're going for a walk around the block with your dog and there's an unleashed dog, right? And then this unleashed dog is charging at my leash dog.
Yes.
I hate it.
Okay.
And the reason behind it is because these people think it's okay because they keep shouting like, oh, my dog is friendly. It's okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. He's friendly. I'm like, I don't care that your dog is friendly. I don't want your dog to approach my leash dog, right? Yeah. Like, Maple doesn't like it when someone just suddenly charges at her. It actually frightens her, right? She kind of likes to just do things in her own pace. Yeah. So yeah, I don't care. If your dog doesn't, like, if you can't control your dog with your voice and be able to recall your dog back so it doesn't actually approach my dog, don't have it off leash.
So that's what I was going to ask. But if your dog is like has really good obedience skills and very good recall skills, is that okay then, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
If you are able to contain your dog and keep them occupied and engaged with you as a person, because I do it, right? Dog.
Well, that's why I didn't want to like throw you under the bus, because I was like, well, we do that, but if we see another dog, we get her attention and leash her up.
Yeah, so like I don't want to sound like a hypocrite.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to say anything.
Because so we do take Maple off leash. Yes. Because we are working her to.
I guess.
Don't interrupt me.
Sorry. Go ahead. I was just trying to clarify.
Because we're working on her, right? Yes. We want her to be just neutral to her environment, and we want her to be able to ignore other dogs that are walking beside us on leash or off leash or whatever. So things happen, right? Like Maple, sometimes she's not 100%. She will run towards another dog that's leashed. But I'm very like, I feel bad.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm apologetic.
I got you. Okay,
I'm like,
not
okay,
the people that
let me take my dog away. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like we are just working on this thing and my dog escaped me.
Okay.
Like, you know.
Okay, you're right. I got you.
Right?
Got you.
It's the thing where people just don't care and they let their dog run towards anybody and anything. And there's no, like, they're not responsible over that dog.
There's
they're
no,
just like,
control.
it's okay. My dog won't bite.
Yeah. There's just no, I know. What's the word we want to use? No.
Like I'm training my dog. It's different, right?
Accountability.
Yes.
We'll use that. They're not accountable for like, you know.
I feel so bad and like my blood is boiling inside of me because I'm like Maple.
You didn't listen.
Yeah.
We don't discipline our dog. But, you know, sorry. We can get heated, but we're just, you know, all right.
It's my fault, right? Because I put her off leash and I trusted her to be able to work with me and behave, but things happen, right?
Yeah.
She's normally pretty good, but not 100%.
Of course. Okay. No, that's a good one. And you're right. I think that's a big one even when I take her for walks too, and or even out for hikes. And I know it's supposed to be leash area, and that's fine because we do it. But then when a dog who comes out of nowhere, and especially the ones that let the dogs like roam quite far away from them, all of a sudden a dog comes out of nowhere, but you don't see the human. And you're like, what the heck is going on? Is this dog lost?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, like a couple seconds later, the person will appear around the corner, but it's just like...
I have nothing against dogs that are unleashed if the handler is working with that dog and tries to teach it how to have proper etiquette and, you know, obedience skills and all that off leash. That's not a problem at all. What I have a problem with is those people who just nonchalantly, you know...
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Just don't care.
They're
just like, whatever, it's your problem when it's not.
Yeah. I've seen those videos like... even the other day where someone was handling 3 dogs that were going for a walk with like 3 Dobermans or something. And this like golden doodle or something just run up to these 3 dogs that the handler was trying to control. Yeah. And they were like, and they just kept walking with their little Starbucks, right? Like not a care in the world. Oh, it's okay. My dog, he's friendly.
Starbucks.
Like, and there's this woman trying to wrestle these 3 Dobermans, right?
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. I think that's a big one. So it's more of a public service announcement for the people of you that do that. Don't. Okay? Not for your sake, but for everyone else's sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a valid one. That's a good one. I agree.
You agree?
I agree with them all so far. So
you don't agree with
them? No, I do agree with them all so far. So.
Good. Yeah. You'll sleep on a couch tonight, don't you, John?
All right, what's pet peeve number 4?
Yes. So okay. In a nutshell, it's dog parents who let their dogs become overweight. So it's overweight dogs.
Okay.
The dogs themselves are not a pet peeve of mine, obviously. Yes. It's not their fault that they're overweight. It's the dog parents who are letting their dogs
irresponsible
become overweight.
Okay. Well, yeah, all of these are the pet parents. The problems the owners are doing, not the dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs are innocent until proven guilty, which they're never guilty. Come on. That one bothers me a lot. And it's like, it's so frustrating and sad. It's like, I want to like get angry at you for like, but they're just so in denial a lot of the time.
It's funny because I didn't actually used to notice just how many dogs are overweight. But now I do.
Yeah.
I remember, when we went to the Magda Loop event last year.
Oh, yeah. The market.
And it was
thing.
like a pet-friendly event. Yeah. There was a lot of people, a lot of dogs, a lot of city dogs.
Yeah.
And I was shocked.
Oh, yeah, because it was in the city.
I was like, oh my God.
I guess I don't notice it as much as you do.
Every single dog, like, overweight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is so sad. Like, I feel sorry for these dogs.
But I unfortunately think it's the way culture is going. And it's terrible because the dog doesn't have a choice. At least you as a human, if you're overweight, you've done that to yourself. You're unhealthy to yourself, but at least you have the responsibility that you know that and you can lose weight, but the dog can't.
People don't understand that overweight dogs are not cute. They're not chubby. They're not cute. It will literally impact their life.
Yeah, it's health problems.
And it will deteriorate their health and potentially lead to a super painful death.
And I think most vets probably let you know because, I mean, like Maple was, 2 pounds a little bit overweight on the higher end. Not like... She was still within the female weight range, but, and we didn't realize because but they told us and we're like, okay, like, thank you for letting us know. And they're like, yeah, you see how you have to really push hard to like feel their ribs.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It is hard to put your dog on a diet. Just like it's hard as a human to be put on a diet.
I've seen this video of a dachshund, an overweight dachshund.
Oh my God.
That they had to roll him on the skateboard to get him into places.
That's crazy. And people think it's cute and funny and whatever. Not funny, but yeah, that's a big one. And I mean, that's something that like as the pet parent, you might not realize. And a little bit overweight is fine. Like it's not a big deal. Like Maple being a little bit overweight, to be honest, I don't think it was a problem. As long as it didn't go anymore. She was
still within the average,
the breed standard kind of thing.
The bracket, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't that much of a problem. But we're like, okay, let's go. And it took a long time. We only like cut our food down a tiny little bit. But it's like the people that, like the dogs that are really overweight, and it's like, what are you doing to your dog? Like they don't have a choice. They will eat everything all the time.
They will not tell you, oh no, I've had enough. Yeah. Like they will just carry on eating.
They might get full.
I mean, you get the two types of dogs, right? The dogs that will just eat basically anything all day, every day, and the dogs that are fussy, right? And the dogs that will just, not today. Fussy.
That's a big one. And I think and if you go and you have your vet appointment and they say something, take it seriously. Yeah. Especially that. Don't be, a jerk. Don't if you just but do it slowly. Just cut out a portion, cut out some treats, cut out a little bit of this and that, and your dog will be sad.
I mean,
and they'll give you those puppy eyes. What?
Like if you as a human, you were overweight, what would you do, right? You would obviously increase your activity levels.
Yeah, but some people don't care.
Decrease the amount of food you eat.
I know.
Or the quality of food, right? But
humans don't care. Because it's becoming a lot more
about themselves.
Yeah,
that's okay. Because you have a choice. You're fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it's becoming, like beauty standards have changed over the last 10, 20 years, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But your dog doesn't have a choice. They could be very unhealthy and they can't tell you they are. Like you as a human, I mean, now we're going on the extreme ends. If you're having heart problems or whatever, you're having heart problems because you're feeling them. You're going through them. But a dog could be having stomach problems, heart problems because they're overweight and they can't tell you.
I mean,
and then all of a sudden you want to pay. So not only are you paying more money for food, you're going to pay more money for vet bills. Just be a responsible.
And you're probably going to lose your dog a lot quicker.
Be a responsible dog parent.
And that's going to hurt.
Yeah. Be responsible.
You're probably going to also pay for therapy afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
To get over the guilt.
Do you want to learn how to be a responsible dog parent? We have a Facebook group. Literally called Responsible Dog Owner, something like that. It's linked below. So
I don't know. We keep changing the name.
It's about being responsible. I just wanted to throw it in there because that's what we're talking about. But you'll find the link below in the description.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? I understand people who have an overweight dog because, winter time and you build up a little bit of bulk.
Yeah, depending on where you live.
Winter, right? Because it's cold, you don't go out as much and you still feed them the same, even though you probably should cut down a little bit since activity level is not so high. But so you get that dog to the point where they could lose some weight. And then you realize that though, right? You have this conscious thing that, we should exercise our dog more, and so you're trying to resolve the issue. The problem is with people who are oblivious.
Yes.
That's the real problem. It's not the people who are okay, my dog is overweight and we are trying to work on it, right? We're trying to go on more walks.
A lot of people don't want to think they're a bad person, they're doing anything wrong. It's just a defense mechanism that how dare you say that? Because it's still the same thing. If you tell a human they're overweight, they get offended. You're offending them.
Do you know what?
Yeah, that's a whole
This
other
is the
thing.
culture that we're talking about. Everyone gets offended by everything. Yeah. But I'm not trying to judge you and your parenting style and your dog. I'm just saying that your dog is overweight and you shouldn't do that to your dog.
You're putting them through health risks. Like you said, you can do that to yourself. I don't care. Do whatever you want, but don't put your dog through that. They don't deserve that. They didn't ask for that. They didn't sign up for that, so. Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, that's probably my biggest one out of the list so far. Yeah. All right. So far, because we're at number 5 now.
Yes.
All right.
So people who get a dog and they clearly don't have time for them.
Okay.
Or they can't afford them.
Okay. Would we call that a irresponsible dog parent?
I mean, all of these things are irresponsible, really.
Yeah. That's true. I guess so.
So yeah, it's just the people who, they get their dog for the kids, for instance.
Christmas.
Or Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Like.
Dog is not a gift.
Like, exactly.
Surprise, we have a human
and
baby.
And then they realize
here's your present.
After the Christmas break, like, I have to go to work.
Yeah.
How am I going to take care of this puppy? This puppy is going to be home all day by themselves every day.
COVID dogs. There you go.
Yeah. Or you get a dog during COVID, then you have to go back to work. Yeah. Did you think about the future? Did you know your dog's going to probably live longer than a year or 2 or however long the pandemic was going to last for, right?
And I understand that sometimes things happen.
I feel like people thought maybe the pandemic was going to last for 20 years. Maybe that's what was going on.
Or we were all going to die. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I understand like things happen in life and you lose your job and all of that. Yeah. And I get there's certain circumstances. And I get that part, but it's the people that didn't have those circumstances, but they became lazy or they didn't realize how much money it costs. And that's where, getting a dog from a responsible place comes into play a lot more.
Yeah, they didn't realize how much food was, how much, this dog's going to cost in grooming fees.
Yeah.
People who don't plan for their dog's medical bills.
Yes.
That annoys
Have
some
money. Have savings. I know most people don't have savings for themselves, but have a credit card. Have a dog emergency only credit card.
Yeah.
Don't ever use that. At least
get insurance if you can't afford insurance. Start saving because it's not a matter of if something happens to my dog, like something will happen to your dog.
Exactly.
Just plan for the worst. Yeah. And if nothing happens to your dog, then great. Yeah. You will have 10 grand saved up in your account, right?
Or 10 grand because in insurance that went to nothing. But anyway.
I mean, insurance is another thing, right? Yeah.
But you're right. It's not just paying for them, but it's like you said, the responsibility. Now all of a sudden you just leave your dog at home all the time. Or your dog's in like daycare all day. And I mean, I'd rather you take your dog to daycare than leave them at home all day, but if your dog is spending more time in daycare than they are with you.
Well, what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah. What's the point? For your 2 weeks vacation you get a year?
I think having a dog it's a privilege. It's not a right.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who would say I have the right to get a dog, but you're right. It should be like
that's how people behave sometimes.
True. It should be
at least I'm giving it a shelter, a home.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a line there. Okay, you're right. You bringing your dog to your house, like adopting a dog from a shelter or a rescue. Okay, I get that point. But then if it's like, what is the like lifestyle difference? You know what I mean? If you're still just giving them the bare minimum, maybe it would have been better for another family to adopt
exactly.
a dog. Yeah.
That's my point. It's like maybe you are not a suitable family. Your lifestyle is just not suitable to have a dog.
And it's just be prepared. Do the research. Don't just show up at don't ever get a dog from a pet store. To be honest, I was going to say don't show up at a pet store and get a dog, but it's like, do your research.
That's my another pet peeve.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't want to talk about it. But it is. I know what you mean. It's the dog parents that just pawn them off all the time. And fair enough. If work circumstances change for 6 months and that's fine, now you're not going to be home as much, that's okay. But if all of a sudden cool, I'm working 60 hours a week now. And I'm the only person. I live by myself. I'm single. I have a dog. It's like,
Well, yeah, there was actually a thing the other day. Someone was saying, how does everyone feel about these people who say that you should supervise your puppy 24/7 when you get them? And it's like, okay, you're blowing things out of proportion here. It's not that you have to watch your puppy 24/7 because puppies sleep most of the day. At least they should
actually
anyway.
Sleep a lot more than you think they should, or they should be sleeping a lot more than you expect. But yeah.
And that's not the point. Yeah. The point is that you should, when you get a puppy, it's your opportunity to bond. Yeah. And this puppy shouldn't stay in your house by themselves for more than 9 hours or something like that, right?
Or be in daycare to get used to someone else that's playing with them and engaging with them.
This dog will have absolutely no relationship with you.
Yeah,
and then
that's a big one.
And then they wonder, right? Or why does my dog not listen to me? Yeah. Why do they bite my hands all the time? Do they even know who you are? Do they
know your name? Yeah. No, I'm kidding. They don't know your name. But no, that's a big one. And I guess that's like a two-part in the sense of someone that's irresponsible with raising the dog, but then the financial aspects and where people don't realize. And things happen, and that's in an emergency. And if fair enough, if you can't afford it, then well, you should. Unless it's like a crazy freak accident kind of thing. And I don't know. Just be prepared.
Yeah.
I don't think I have patience for people that like can't deal with a dog's like medical bill or they don't have time. It's just like, I don't care. Stop making up excuses.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Make sacrifices. You might just think it's not a dog, but like, it doesn't matter. Make sacrifices.
This is interesting because people will say, oh, I don't have money for my dog's surgery. Like they have to go into surgery. It's going to cost me $10,000 to put them through this thing, right? But they drive a really big truck. They go to Starbucks every day.
Oh, we were talking about that. Sell some stuff.
Yeah, they have a house full of
things that they don't need, right? And then sell it.
Yeah,
just get
do
rid
a
of it.
garage sale. Like there are always solutions. Yeah. People just think, oh, I can't afford this. Like this is so stressful.
Because I need to keep living my lifestyle.
And it's not my responsibility and it's not everyone else's responsibility to support your dog through surgery. Yeah. Because I have my own bills. I have my own dog. I have to have my own savings so that if something happens to my dog, I'm able to afford it, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to be responsible for me, and maybe it is selfish. But then if everyone had that mentality that they have to be prepared for these things, then maybe this wouldn't be a problem.
So this is an example, and I don't know if she's even going to listen to this episode, but we know someone that her dog went through, got cancer and needed surgery. So she has an emergency credit card for the dog.
Amazing.
And that's fine. And it's on the credit card. Now she has all this debt, and that's unfortunate, but at least you've paid for it.
And
now she's making money. So she's like, making collars and band-aids. It's like a little side hustle, but it's like, hey, does anyone, want to buy a collar or a leash? Like we want to put the money towards, to pay off the surgery or selling old, like she's posting old kennels and crates and harnesses. And it's like, you know what? I'm buying something, so we got a fly ball collar for Maple, and it's like, that's fine because, it'd be cool to have one. And this money it's going towards the dog, but we're getting something in return. You know what I mean? Like, cool. It's a cute collar. It has her name on it. It's still waiting on it.
I respect that because that's resourceful.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like selling things.
It's like finding solutions. Like, okay,
up extra hours, grabbing another job.
I'm in so much debt. I'm in so much financial stress right now because of this chemo that my dog had to go through. Yeah. But I'm not going to just give up on this dog. Yeah. I'm not going to dwell and beg out on the internet strangers to donate money. I'm going to do something about it. And I think that's amazing, right?
And so that's a positive kind of story of what you should do. It's whether get a part-time job. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Credit cards
if
nowadays,
your dog is so important in your life, which it should be, your dog should be. Do what it takes. It's no different than if you're a child and they needed a surgery. You would do what it would take. You know what I mean? Don't treat your dog any different. Yeah. Anyway.
Why would you? Right?
And then not having time for your dog. Just have time for your dog. All right.
Or people say, "Oh, I don't have money. I'm gonna have to put my dog down." It's like, okay, it's your choice. Do whatever you like. But like is it fair?
Yeah. Should you have gotten a dog in the first place? You shouldn't be allowed another one then. Do you know what I mean? If you couldn't afford this one, it means you can afford the next one.
You know, you literally given up on your dog when they most need you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to cry.
I know. So let's move on. Do you need a moment? That got very like serious. So yeah, that's a big one. I don't know. Does that beat the last one? I think so. Or the other one I didn't. I think that one's pretty important. Yeah. And it sucks, but it is what it is, you know? That's a responsibility you should fully understand when you are bringing a life into your house. You know what I mean? That's simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
I know the point. Okay.
Yeah. What number are we on? 6, 7, 5? No, 6.
Okay, so this one's like a little bit more lighthearted, I hope anyway, because I'm going to like go into a meltdown here. People who think it's okay to come and pet my dog without even asking or anything, right? They just kind of creep up on you.
So I guess this is not a pet parent. This is just a human being pet peeve.
Yeah.
Most people that want to pet your dog have pets they have dogs themselves. So that's probably why. But okay. So this is
I mean, I don't know if those people have dogs or
this
not,
is
right?
just
but
more
they
of
just,
people in general.
It's like...
And kids.
Would you touch anything of anyone's without asking first?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Why? That's so true. Why is going up to pet a dog seem like a social like norm? Like it's a normal thing.
It's
we
like
are allowed
if I'm
to
carrying
do.
a bag, would you touch my bag?
Yeah.
Without asking
your
me?
hair looks really nice.
Yeah.
Let me just like...
it literally, like, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Especially when they do it, and I just feel so awkward telling them, like, hey, like, what are you doing?
I'm like, don't, my dog might bite you. And they get all scared.
It
like,
depends
no.
what mood I'm in on a day. Sometimes I will be like, oh no, sorry, don't touch them.
Okay, now, what is your thought on people just putting their hand out for the dog to like sniff the hand without permission? Same, not quite the same, but I know people do that. They're like, oh, look how cute. And they'll put like, it's better. It's like, we're going somewhere. I don't want my dog to stop to sniff your hand. So then, because the point of that is to then pet the dog. That's the point of doing that.
It's like, why are you sticking your hand out, you weirdo?
Yeah. Because that happened the other day. I don't honestly know. It was literally like a couple days ago that happened. That's why I was curious on that part.
Yeah. It's not as bad.
Yeah.
I find it like it's kind of outside the scope of my pet peeve. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's the active approach towards me and my dog in order to try to pet them without even being like, hey, is it okay if I pet your dog?
Is your dog friendly?
And I'm like, no, we're training. I don't want them to meet strange people. She's very friendly,
but still.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It depends on the mood. It's like some days I'm like, of course.
Me.
Like, I remember when we were out and you went in somewhere to get some food and someone came and they're like, oh, is that like a duck tolling retriever? I was like, yeah. Like, oh, can I pet her? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, first, you know what the dog is. And we always get that. And second, you ask. I was like, yeah, like, I don't, she's shy. She's a little bit shy still, but you could, try.
You can like stick your hand out and see if she approaches you.
And that's fine. But some days, I'm just like, we're literally on the move. Yeah. Not stopping.
And people are like physically approach you to touch your property. Yeah. It's like, why is this socially acceptable?
Like, we have a dog and I've never went to like reach my hand out to pet a dog. I always just look at another dog and smile. Yeah. Anytime I see a dog and a human, I just smile because I just like, oh, look at the cute dog. Yeah. Whether it's an old, you know what I mean? Exactly. That's my thing. And just I see dogs all the time.
Let them exist in a world, right? Like you don't need to touch every single dog. I understand.
That's so interesting that I don't have, maybe it's people that don't have dogs. I don't have that drive.
To touch everyone else's dog.
Or go talk to them or just be like, oh my God, how cute. What kind of dog?
I don't, because I feel awkward. Yeah. Like I understand how I feel in that moment. If someone else was going to touch my dog without asking.
So maybe that's why we don't. So maybe it's a thing where people that don't have dogs do it more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would just look and admire the dog, right? Like I don't need to physically touch them.
That's a big one.
I just don't have that need.
Yeah. I think a lot of these are like everyone. Let us know if any of these hit the nail on the head for you as well, but we'll wrap them all up at the end. But
yeah.
What number are we on? 7?
1, 2, 3, 4,
yeah,
5,
you have them
6,
all there.
7.
7, okay.
Yes.
All right. Dog
7.
Parent Pet Peeve number 7.
Number 7 is a good one because it might ruffle some feathers.
Go.
So it's the people who support puppy mills and backyard breeders by
the thing I was talking about. Yeah.
By purchasing the dog from these places.
Okay. What places?
From puppy mills and backyard breeders.
Well, you don't really know they are from
okay,
there,
so the way you know.
Okay. I didn't know there was a way. Well, yeah.
Basically, every single seller on Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, anything like that.
Okay.
It's basically a backyard breeder.
Okay. That makes sense.
And shops.
Okay, like pet stores.
Yeah.
That sell dogs.
Usually, unless it's an adoption event.
There's not as many. Oh yeah.
Unless it's an adoption event and it's like shelters trying to find homes for their dogs, then.
Luckily, at least here in Canada, the pet store dogs are like not as popular. I remember.
There is one.
No, I know. The one we've been to that one, right? I know I bought some like treats from there once, and then once it like hit me, I was like, I don't want to support them anymore. But it used to be so popular. Like I remember being as a kid going to the malls and always seeing them in the window, and then being a stupid child and like tapping on the little glass window. And I'm like, it's so bad. But they don't exist as much, at least here in Canada, that they used to. I don't know about the US or Europe or stuff like that. But yeah. I think now that's probably number 1 for me, to be honest, because that's just like
your number 1 keeps changing.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they are. I know you have them written down, but I haven't looked at them.
Puppy mills and backyard breeders are like the problem.
They're the problem with everything.
World.
They're the problem with shelter dogs.
The main thing that we should eradicate.
Yeah, it's so true. It's
like, I don't want to be extreme or anything, but that is like the ultimate, like if we were to shut down puppy mills and backyard breeders, there wouldn't be that much of an issue with shelters being overrun and all of these things. Because you should seek out a dog from a responsible breeder or a shelter, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And then to be honest, not all, but a lot of shelter dogs are from puppy mills or backyard breeders.
That is the problem. Because as a responsible breeder, you wouldn't let your dogs end up in a shelter, which is fixing the problem, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, we get it. Things happen. You're no longer able to support your dog or have this dog. Allergies develop, whatever. They will take that dog back.
Yeah. Now, I just want to kind of make a comment on the responsible breeder. Now, we're talking about like puppy mills and more in the sense of people that profit to churn out as many dogs as possible. There are people that do have puppies by accident.
Yes.
And they try to find homes for them responsible. There might not be a fully registered responsible breeder, but they are like, hey, my bad. It shouldn't have happened, but my dog had an accident with another dog. She's having puppies, let's work out and kind of things like that. I'm not going to call that fully backyard breeding. It's still kind of like on the fence.
I mean, let's be honest. It was irresponsible for these 2 dogs. It was
irresponsible, but at least they were trying to find proper homes for these dogs. And like they are responsible dog parents. So they're trying to. So, because that's the thing. A lot of people, the reason why they go there, it's price.
Yes.
It's the whole reason. It's like a numbers game for these guys.
Okay. We forgot to say exactly what is a puppy mill or a backyard breeder, right? We just said, it's like buying from Facebook Marketplace. Okay. So basically what we mean by it is that people literally, get 2 dogs. They don't know what exactly the temperaments of these dogs are, how they would properly mesh together when bred.
Health conditions.
So they have, they don't do health checks or genetics checks or anything like that. They have no actual clue about breeding dogs. No. There's a lot more involved than standard person knows about, right? Unless you are in that world and you are passionate about breeding dogs. They have no clue. They even, what's it called? Inbred?
Yeah.
Dogs. So they will have a litter, and then from that litter, they will breed a brother and a sister together afterwards. It's disgusting.
They breed the dogs for money purposes. And
it's basically just pumping out as many dogs as possible and trying to flog them.
They won't give the females enough time in between them.
So apparently you only meant to have, now I don't know if this is like completely correct, but a female dog should only be bred twice or 3 times during their lifetime.
Oh, wow. Okay. That little. I knew they have to have like breaks sometimes in between, like, you know.
Because otherwise like you're going to overbreed them.
Yeah.
And it's hard on a dog. Yeah. It's not responsible. No,
okay. Yeah, we don't know if that's a fact. I don't actually know either the answer. Yeah,
I follow a couple of responsible breeders online. The breeder, but that's what I heard. That's the number. Yeah. But I guess each to their own, right? I guess sometimes you might be like, oh, maybe this dog can do another litter or
maybe
whatever.
If they had a really small one, like that's kind of up in the air.
I don't know that much about breeding.
But you're right. And this is more about education. A lot of people don't realize they got their dog from a puppy mill because they don't, I mean, we didn't know what a puppy mill was until after we get a dog, to be perfectly honest. Like I've heard a little bit. And you don't know that. And I think that's why the education needs to be out there. That's why this podcast exists. This is why lots of breeders talk about it and all of that, because it's
and they should, because people should know that the dog that they're getting, sometimes they don't even meet the person that is selling that dog to them. They just leave the dog outside their door. Oh, e-transfer me the money and like here's your puppy.
Or they'll just ship it, like throw it on a plane for you or something like that. And
it's disgusting.
It's so bad. And
it's like, why do we support this?
And if you did by accident, like that's okay, but like now you know and spread the word.
But accident is an accident. It's not like, I purposely bred these dogs in order to sell them.
It was the person was an accident. They didn't realize their dog came from a puppy mill because, you're with your kids and you go to a pet store and they're like, oh my God, this dog's so cute. And then you get it and it's like, oh, what did you do? And it's sad because you don't want to see these dogs in pet stores, like because the problem is when nobody adopts them, they go to shelters.
Yeah.
And although you're going to get them from the shelter, so you think you're adopting a dog, which is nice, but it's still coming from the same place ultimately.
Yeah. I have no problem with shelters.
No, of course not. No. I'm just letting you know that that's usually what happens to the dogs from the pet stores. Is they'll go to shelters.
It's the supporting and like physically seeking out those dogs from a Kijiji site or a Facebook marketplace or whatever other marketplace, and you don't know what you're getting.
No, but it's not even that. It's like, if you only want to spend a couple $100s for a dog, don't get a dog. Don't get a dog. I'm sorry to say, if you're that person that's like, I would love to have a dog, but I can't afford to pay for one. If you can't afford to pay a proper amount for a dog, then you can't afford to have a dog. Just back to that other point.
Exactly.
If you only have $500 you want to spend, don't get a dog. I'm sorry to say, don't get that dog.
Go and rescue a dog instead.
Go rescue something, the one that's a couple years old. Don't go grab a puppy from
a puppy mill.
Because if that's all you can afford, puppy expenses are crazy.
And if you get a puppy from a puppy mill, they're going to be even crazier expenses because that dog is probably going to be messed up genetically and temperamentally and everything. So
that's so bad. It's just, and no, I don't care. There is no disagreeing with that. That's just facts. Don't support it. Argue if you want to say different, don't even leave a comment. I don't want to hear it, to be honest. Like, I disagree with it. Yeah, I don't think there's an excuse.
I think that you should either, if you are looking to get a dog, get it from a responsible breeder.
Yeah.
Or rescue from a shelter.
Yeah.
A dog that is probably from a puppy mill, but at least you are giving it a home and you are not supporting these organizations.
You're not directly supporting them because then they're like, oh, wow, this pet store
at the end of the day,
sold 10 of our dogs. We're going to give them 10 more. Not this pet store sold none of our dogs, so then maybe we're not going to give them any anymore. Mm. And there's
a difference, I think, from getting a dog from Facebook or Kijiji.
An auction website.
Oh,
do you remember when I found out about that?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. I saw a Facebook post.
An auction for
There's
dogs?
There's literally an auction.
Cows?
Yeah. And it's those are backyard breeders. And that's where people get them from. Oh my, yeah. I remember I randomly saw a link, or there was a post and there was a whole bunch of comments and somebody shared a link and I clicked it and it just, oh my.
Yeah,
I
you
was
told
so
me
angry
about
and I
it.
showed you and you're like, what the hell is
mind.
this? I mean, a normal person, you wouldn't have known about this. I'm just saying. But that's where.
But tell us.
But that's
so
where
what
they came
happens?
from.
What happens on auctions?
I don't actually know. I didn't really look into it, but I think that's the problem is people will get these dogs from the auctions to resell.
Well, like where do they come from?
I don't know.
At the auctions,
puppy
right?
mills.
Yeah, puppy mills.
They come from puppy mills. They come from, because
like
it doesn't say, it just
dodgy,
says like a location, like a town. And they're usually like kind of countryside farm towns where they have lots of room and they have the barns and they have all sorts of animals and
underground farms.
Yeah, exactly.
They just like breed them. They
and
probably
then
like don't.
It was something about as soon as you make the payment, then we'll send it. It will be sent to you. You don't go pick it up. It gets sent to you.
How?
It gets like shipped to you. Yeah,
Like in a
exactly. And then they'll go to these pet stores, or they'll go and you think like, oh my God, this is a cute puppy. It's like, do you not realize the first like 4 weeks of this dog's life was hell?
Yeah. So this is interesting because when I was little,
Yeah.
we got a dog, a Shih Tzu.
Yep.
And 100% sure it was from a puppy mill or a backyard breeder. And that dog, after about 2 weeks of being with us, it died.
I know you did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have your dog. So yeah, there you go.
There's a lesson, right?
So now it's funny. So because we've already talked about us having dogs as kids, I think on our very first episode.
It picked up some type of disease that was incurable.
Yeah.
And that's how this breeder sold us this dog. And obviously, you take the dog home and you observe it and things like that. And they were just sleeping all the time, being lethargic. But we just thought, it's a normal thing for a dog sleeping all the time.
You don't go to the vet right away. You do, but if they don't,
then
they can't
one
always
day it didn't pick up, open up the
so
eyes.
our Shih Tzu came from I don't know if it was an accident, but it was our uncle that his dog had puppies. I think it was because that was the only puppies they ever had. So, we were just like, so they were like, oh, do you want a dog? I don't know the whole thing. I was like 8 years old. So we got our dog from our uncle who their dogs had puppies. Maybe they they wanted them to breed the Shih Tzus. I don't know. Like I said, it was like 7 or 8, but that dog did live 12 to 15 years, the whole lifespan. So it was okay. But that's what I mean. So that was where like my family member was responsible and found like, and it was that thing where we got to go pick, and then like you do at a pet store.
Yeah. And
like one of them was taken and they kept one of them. So it wasn't like, oh crap, well, our dog has puppies, they kept one of the puppies themselves and then some went to family members and all of that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's all. I think we should have an episode, a whole episode on that. We do need to actually get a responsible breeder, I think, on this, not a thing. Yeah. Or a couple, to be honest.
Just to like find out exactly like what does it take to be a responsible breeder.
And what goes on behind the scenes and what are you paying for? Because it's shocking like how much information you get and how much is really involved.
I think
it's like that money is very well spent once you learn.
So a dog from a responsible breeder, there's probably a bracket, right, of how much they cost. But it's probably anywhere from, I don't know, I want to say 2.5.
I would say 2,000,
5,
2 to 5 probably, yeah.
$1,000, right? Would I say it's worth it? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Why would I cheap out on something that's so important to me?
That's what I don't understand. Like that, but it's because it's just the way the world works. It's like dogs are just like
it's not
pets.
Even about getting a purebred dog. It's not even about that. It's about getting a dog from a breeder who knows what they're doing.
Who's raised them correctly for the first 8 to 10 weeks. Even if you get a mixed
breed dog, get it from a breeder who's responsible, not Kijiji.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, yeah, this one we can go on and on about. We'll do an episode, I think, where we talk about that. And I think we'll find some responsible, or if you're listening to this and you are a responsible breeder and you want to be on the show, let us know, or you know one.
Yeah.
That we can reach out to. I mean, we know lots, well, not lots, we know some, but we just haven't reached out to them yet.
I think that's like the ultimate problem.
Yeah, that's a big pet peeve. Dog parent pet peeve.
It's a problem and it's a pet peeve.
Yeah. It's more of a problem than a pet peeve.
It's when people say like, oh, I got this puppy for like $200. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. No. And I understand sometimes people don't know.
No, you're right. And
which is why we're trying to educate.
Yeah.
And I hope
so
this message
reaches you. So if you know anyone that wants to get a dog, just take this timestamp and share it with this timestamp. Well, 10 minutes ago. I don't know how long we ranted about that one.
Probably too much.
12 chapters.
Probably too much.
Okay,
but anyway,
number
let's carry
8.
on. Yes.
Are we on number 8? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Getting towards the end.
Okay, so my big pet peeve is when people humanize their dog a little too much.
Okay. Elaborate.
So when people just treat their dogs like human babies.
Okay, like a baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
As in, playing like, okay, so.
You have an example?
So there's a thing, right? You can buy your dog a cute bandana or a hat or an outfit because, it's a holiday season and you just want to celebrate and be cute and take some pictures.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the people who dress up their dog every single day.
Yeah. Isn't there a word for the whole?
There is, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, I know, because I remember I looked it up. I was like, what does this mean? And then I told you, I was like, oh, there is a word for people that like treat their dogs as like humans.
Yeah.
I can't remember the word.
Or like they would cuddle them like babies and they would wrap them up in blankets.
Yeah.
Like sausages.
Yeah.
And it's like dogs don't like that.
No.
It's
the
a
odd
big
one might, but
pet peeve of mine. Or like when they put shoes on dogs all the time.
Yeah.
There's this one instance where I saw this poodle, the owner would always put like shoes whenever they were going out. Yeah. So this dog didn't know how to walk outside without shoes. They were literally scared. They were like
their
this.
paws wouldn't be able to acclimate, like get used to like the hot ground or the texture or that's so, oh wow. I've never seen that.
And the owner was like, oh, she doesn't like walking without her shoes on. And I'm like,
oh, that's a pet peeve for mine. Now that you said that, not that specific thing, but I just thought of something. I'll have to, so hopefully I'll remember it. I'll write it down.
It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
Like they love walking outside with their paws as nature intended.
Oh man.
How can you say your dog doesn't like walking outside without shoes on if you're not given an opportunity to do so?
I know what you mean. It's humanized. Yeah.
Or even better example, the other day I saw a video of this girl that had a golden retriever, right? The friendliest dog on the entire planet. And she tried to kiss it in her mouth and the dog snapped at her. And I'm like, well, there you go.
Wow.
Because
we're
dogs...
not saying don't do that, but also don't do that.
Because dogs don't like to be kissed. Dogs just tolerate it if you if this is your own dog and you want to kiss it on the head or kiss it there, you know, your dog is used to this behavior. And
but you stick your face in your dog's face?
Yeah, but it's a puppy and this person, maybe they didn't know or whatever. It's a puppy, like the sharks, right?
Yeah,
They don't know any better. So they will bite your face. It's a dog.
Yeah.
It's not a human. Kissing is a human thing.
Like the whole thing with the grandma grabbing the cheeks and, oh, look at the cute, but don't treat your dog like that.
Or don't kiss other dogs like this.
I know you mean it. It's like, well, no, like the mentality of like the toy dog thing with the cute hats, like the Paris Hilton made that normal. And it's just like, don't do that to your little toy.
It's still a dog, right?
Just
like your dog doesn't need to wear outfits all the time. No. It doesn't need to be handled like a child.
Yeah, like the most
so this might... People might think that we are a little bit hypocritical because we compare a dog to a baby quite a lot. in terms of behavior.
Okay. Yeah.
And how to parent, right?
Okay. Yes.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Because
we use examples. You wouldn't leave your baby roaming around with cables sticking out of the walls. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you wouldn't throw your baby in a deep end of the pool, right? Like.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of examples of behavior that's kind of equivalent of how you would deal with a baby.
Yes. No,
or
it's
similar.
raising and training.
Yeah.
I think. Raising. You don't train.
I think it's from like a behavior standpoint.
Yeah.
Where at the end of the day, we are animals as well.
Yeah.
So our behavior and dog's behavior, you can kind of compare and contrast the two.
Yeah, of course.
But what I mean by this pet peeve is more like humanizing them to the point of doing like human things that just humans do, right? Like dressing
not
up.
with them, but to them. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense.
Like only humans dress.
Yeah.
Only humans kiss and cuddle.
Yeah.
And embrace each other.
You're not letting your dog be a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And like we said, there's nothing against cute little jackets or sweaters or whatever, especially when it's cold. Like that's fine. Whatever, a little hat occasionally for like a special occasion
or a picture or like, it's
St. Patrick's Day,
sometimes.
A cute little like one of those little Irish hats or something.
Don't like subject and force your dog to basically behave like a human child.
Exactly. Just don't.
Or like,
this whole episode, just don't.
Just don't.
Not the
or when people don't put a collar on their dog because they think, it's gonna hurt them, and like, why don't you put a collar on yourself?
Oh yeah.
Like, what type of argument is that? I'm not a dog, but this is a dog, and dogs should wear a collar for identification in case they run away.
If you want me to wear a collar, so you're okay with my dog wearing a collar, fine. I'll wear a collar.
I just love when people make this argument with humans, like, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
You put a collar on yourself or a muzzle on yourself. Like, okay, but like, I don't have the need because I'm human.
Yeah.
I'm not a dog.
Yeah. That's so true.
It just gets me so heated.
I can see. I can see. All right. Shall we move on? Number 9, second last one.
Okay, so this is pretty similar to the other points, I guess, but a little different too. So it's the people that don't do any research.
Okay.
At all. And only get the dog because they're cute.
Before getting a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that went back to the whole backyard breeding thing. Well, a lot of the points, and I think I made a few. It's like, do some research.
It's just not being responsible.
No.
Like,
Because if you did research, the smallest amount of research, you would realize that any sort of doodle is not hypoallergenic.
Yeah.
There is a very tiny, small percentage that it will be. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a very, very couple percent that
there's not a single dog that you're not gonna get allergy at all.
So that's what I mean. Yeah. So there's a prime example of doing your research.
There's always a risk that you are going to be.
That's what everyone thinks. Still to this day, and you tell them, and like, but why would you? It's like, why would who lie? The breeder?
Oh my God, I love when people say, doodles don't shed.
Oh yeah, that too. It's like they're half or a quarter or 3/4 of whatever other dog. And all dogs shed except for poodles.
We have looked after so many doodles and they all shed.
They're so messy.
They all shed.
I know, it's so
They shed more than my own dog.
Well, no, I don't think so. No.
Well, not this time of year, but like in general.
Winter coat's going. I know, and it is. It's doing research on the temperament. We have one of the very first few episodes on the 7 dog breed groups. Find out what breed group your dog is in.
Understand your dog.
What type of activity levels do it need? Like, just because you're getting a Shih Tzu doesn't mean that they have problems. The Shih Tzus are crazy, heavy grooming needs that are expensive.
You have to brush them.
You might not have to exercise them, but you got to brush them. You got to groom them. You got to take them for haircuts, things like that.
Yeah.
So you're right. Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's just like,
I just got this dog because, someone else has this dog and I really like it. It's so cute. I'm just going to get it.
They're so well behaved. After 5 years of training, you know what I mean? Like, that's why they're well behaved.
I love asking people the question of like, why did you get this dog? Yeah. Like, tell me why. Because there must be like a really good why. Yeah. Not,
Oh, they're cute.
It's just cute.
As a puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, or they're really
puppies are
popular.
cute.
Or they're really popular.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people I know have labs because until literally last year, they were the most popular dog in, America.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's just they're so normal and so easy to find. You see, it's like golden retrievers. They're so popular, but they're big dogs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, that's too big. That's too big of a dog for us. So we wouldn't get them. Golden retriever puppies are so cute, but I wouldn't want one.
Yeah. We spent so much time researching.
And I was still
everything.
I was still uncertain. And I remember I was reading, I'm like, oh my God, did you know this? And I'm like, are we sure we want this type of dog?
Yeah.
And, we're really happy with our decision, but it was still like, oh yeah.
Well, you have to research the good things, the bad things, the ugly, everything.
Just go to like the
before you make this decision.
website, the CKC website. When we were looking at second dogs, which we'll get a second dog eventually, we're like, maybe we won't get a toller. And we were looking at Shelties.
A Sheltie, yeah.
And we didn't realize that they are very vocal and very barky. And if we didn't do that research, we might have got one and not realized, like, I don't want a barky dog. I'm sorry, that's just not what we want.
Yeah.
I think they're like similar, high energy.
I mean,
all of that.
I'm sure there are flukes.
Yeah, of course.
Dogs, Shelties that don't really bark that much. But I don't want to risk it.
It is known that that's what they're like. And so now we're like, okay, that's off the table. And so do your research. Even if you want to get a puppy from these places that you shouldn't get a puppy from these places, they should know what type of dog it is, unless it's from a shelter. They might have a general idea. But if you're getting an older shelter dog, the temperament's going to be weird just from a shelter dog.
People can do the DNA tests and things like that to find out what's majority of the genetics in that dog. And then they kind of can try to understand their dog a little bit better. I think that's an amazing thing.
Tons of resources out there. Tons of resources. Like books on your breed as well.
Yeah.
YouTube videos. Yeah. AKC, CKC, whatever the UK version is called. The UK Kennel Club. I don't know.
Is that
wherever you live? I think I think it's just the Kennel Club. I actually think it's like just the Kennel Club. Or whatever country you're in listening to this. They have lots of information.
We are so blessed to live this time.
Yeah.
To be able to open internet and be learn. And learn all about any dog that you want. Yeah. That didn't exist 20, 30 years ago, right?
Just talking about people that have the dog.
People didn't know about backyard breeders and things like this. They would just get dogs wherever they kind of saw them, right?
Exactly.
But now we are equipped to make these bad decisions.
Yeah. And so it's learning. So then you're not like, oh, this is just my dog. And it's like, they're all like this. Or they don't realize these problems and then they end up in the shelters because they can't handle them, or they are shedding too much, or they're allergic to them, or they're too much energy, or they're too vocal, or whatever. You know what I mean? I
feel like if you do your research and you go on Reddit, you go and find out people's like true opinion, right?
Okay, I was going to say Reddit can be a bad place too. So.
Reddit can be like a dark hole.
Ask in Facebook groups. Ask and find. There's so many breed specific Facebook. The amount of people I see, hey, we're looking at getting a toller. We already have this dog. Do you think they'd be a good mix? What's your idea? Like, go and ask. People are always full of, would love to help you out.
And you will probably get a bunch of mixed messages, and that's okay. Yeah. Take it all in and be like, okay, like some people say it's a good idea. Some people say it's a bad idea. Now I'm going to go and use my brain and do my own research and kind of decide for myself, am I ready for this?
Yeah.
Don't ever base your decision on cuteness of a dog.
Or my friend had one, or my family member had one.
I didn't even know this breed existed.
No, we didn't until we were looking at the type of dog we wanted based on certain criteria we wanted to make.
Because it's a big decision. It's a commitment. Like
for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
You don't want to just get a dog.
No, I agree. All right. We're going to wrap it up with number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10 of Magda's Dog Parent Pet Peeves.
Dog Parent Pet Peeve, number 10. It's, okay, so it's Judgemental Dog Parents.
You have to like work us up to all of these. Judgemental Dog Parents.
Yes.
Okay, what do you mean?
I mean when people try to offer advice that is clearly not asked for.
Okay.
Like for instance, what happened the other day at work? You were telling your coworker about
with Maple, and sometimes when we have dogs over, she just gets like
territorial
with us humans, which we're working on. Yeah, and she said,
you need to show your dog who's the boss.
Alpha.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not a thing anymore. Like, oh my, I didn't ask.
Yeah, like I didn't ask about your
I was just letting
opinion.
you know. It's like, because you sent me a message saying, as soon as he arrived, Maple snapped at him. And I was like, ugh. And then I know it's not all the time. And we're not saying this is an acceptable way for a dog to behave. Yeah. So I was just like, read the message and I was just like, and because she has dogs too. So we talk about dogs sometimes. You're right. Okay. Now that's a light version
it's like
of it.
I never asked you about it. Or like when you pulled out a ball from Maple's mouth and someone said, you shouldn't do that because you're taking away something that she really wants. Yeah. Like, did I ask you how to handle my dog's ball in the mouth?
Sometimes though it does help. I know like it depends on who it's coming from, I think.
That's true.
So I did get that point because it was for sports. So it was for dog sports. So you're right. But I think in a certain way, but then just because you're a trainer or whatever, it still doesn't mean you know better.
Exactly.
And I think it wasn't telling me. I think it was more of a, hey, just an idea. It was more of that kind of thing. Yeah. I think just the way I told you is just like I told you. But it's more of like, hey, or like a suggestion.
Suggestions.
That was okay.
I welcome.
Yeah.
Always. But it's the people who think they know you, they know your dog, they know the situation that you're in. They just know they're above you. Yeah. They're going to give you the advice and you should listen. Yeah. And it's like, whoa.
So is that what you mean by judgmental, just more like for advice then or whatever?
Well, just being judgy about everything.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not just about people who give these unwanted advices because sometimes, it is a valuable advice, but if I really needed it, I would probably ask you. Yeah. Hey, I'm struggling with this.
Right. Sometimes how did you know you need it. Okay, yeah.
How did you deal with this issue? Like, please help me. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for your opinion and advice, right? Yeah. But it's also Facebook groups. Yeah. They claim to be this like supportive, whatnot environment, which is totally not true. Yeah. There are people who are genuinely struggling. They genuinely have like really bad situations where they ask for advice and there's just a bunch of hate. Yeah. And there's a bunch of like just people saying, well, you shouldn't have a dog. Yeah. You are such a terrible person. Yeah. Oh, I would never do that to my dog. Oh, my dog's an angel.
Or my dog, it's someone talking about, there's an example of like asking about crate training. My dog has never slept in a crate their whole life. They're great. They're the most, I was like, no, you're lying. Yeah. Your puppy was not an angel unless you got your dog as an adult. There's not a single
puppy that's an angel.
Yeah, and you're right on that point in the sense of...
And it's like these people genuinely want help, right? Don't tell someone, you shouldn't have a puppy. They already have a puppy. They're struggling. They don't need you to give them hate and give them all this negativity because that will just make them feel even worse. Yeah. Like, what type of supportive environment is this? It's not supportive at all. Yeah. It's judgmental and it's toxic and it just should not exist.
I agree. And I just want to make a quick note for everyone listening right now. If you can hear whining in the background, it is just Maple. It's like her dinner time, so she's hungry. Yeah. Just in case you can hear it. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but it's more of people like, what's that whistling? That's Maple. She's hungry. We're almost done though, so we'll finish up the episode and then we'll feed her. Yeah. She's just like, she knows. She always tells us when it's dinner time.
She knows what time it is.
So it's just, we're recording this one. Just wanted to throw that there for if you could hear the noise. We did say that you might hear her. You don't always see her, but you might hear her.
People will now say we're being inhumane because we don't feed our dog on time.
Right on time. No, it's fine. But no, you're right.
6 minutes out.
And it's not, it's the judgmental. It's the judgmental of training your dog, raising your dog, just everything like that. And I mean, we can be a little bit when it comes to like feeding dogs, but it comes from a good place though, not a...
The thing is, we are talking about pet peeves in this episode.
Sorry, you're right.
Which is quite judgmental.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, this is all yours, not mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think it's coming from a place where we can be more responsible and better humans. Yeah. So then we can have better dogs. We can have better living situation, right? Like pick up your dog poo. Like I'm not judging you if you forget a poop bag and leave the poop once in a while. That's okay. But if you don't learn from your mistakes, then what are you doing?
And I think, and again, we said at the beginning, this is your kind of pet peeves. This is your opinion. I agree with all of them, and I think a lot of you do. If you agree, let us know which one was your favorite. Anything else to add on to that one? So we can wrap this up because someone's going crazy over there.
I just think we should all kind of not try to be right about everything. Because at the end of the day, there is no right way to raise a dog. There's no right way to be. Yeah. We are all wrong, and we can be a little bit less wrong every single day.
Exactly.
That's how growth and progress happens.
Well, that's what a pet peeve is. It's something that annoys you that you hope that would stop. And that's it. So don't. Back to it. So, yeah.
Let's just be better humans so we can have better dogs and have a better life.
Yeah. So that was awesome. No, that was good. I know you had them written down, but I didn't really know what they were. So that is Magda's top 10 dog parent pet peeves. If you agreed with them, let us know below if there was one that really stood out. Otherwise, let us know. Let us know if it was on the list. Let us know, your number one dog parent pet peeve or something that, dog owners do that you just cannot stand. In a future episode, maybe we'll have a few more and I'll try to think of different ones for me. And as the longer we have a dog, the more things might come up. So, let us know what yours are. So that's it for this episode. This was kind of fun. This one was interesting. I mean, I had fun. Did you have fun?
I love it.
Yeah, you got to rant a little bit.
Oh yeah, I got to rant. I got to cry.
Yeah, I know.
I was laughing. Yeah. It was a full-on episode. So, I got to listen to Maple whistle this whole time.
Well, we hope you did or didn't. I mean, just so if you do hear, it's not the microphones. It's Maple.
It's just, hashtag pet parent lifestyle. That's just
what it is, whether you're in Zoom meetings and your dog's in the background barking, or at least she doesn't bark. So, but that's it for this one. We hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video as well on Spotify, Apple, whatever. Make sure you follow us. Leave us a rating. Please, we're on episode 20 some odd. Let us know what you think of these episodes. We would love some ratings, reviews on the audio platforms, or suggestions
of what topics you would like to see in the future.
We
really
want to grow this. So help us out, support us, leave those ratings, leave those reviews. That's what helps us. We're not advertising anything right now except for our own Facebook group. We talked about our ebook, things like that. We're not trying to.
But it's all free, and we are really just trying to educate. Standard pet parents.
We want to share all the knowledge out there in one fun loving place that's sometimes very opinionated just based on our opinions, but that's okay. Yeah. We all have ours.
But we're not judgmental. No.
Yeah. And if you don't agree with us, let us know. That's fine. We are okay with you not agreeing with us.
Exactly. I respect that.
If you disagree, let us know. Yeah. We do. We have a reel sometimes where people are like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard," and it's like,
like, tell me why. Yeah. Like, don't just leave a comment being like, "That's dumb."
Yeah. Oh, you're
why? Tell me, let's have a conversation.
We won't talk about
Educate me, because that's the way that I can grow as a human as well.
Yeah. But all right. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.